Welcome back to the second episode that I'll be doing for Dishonored. So I wasn't really able to figure out how to put my video with my audio last time, so there won't be any like webcam for it. I do have webcam, I am recording, but I just haven't figured it out. I don't think I'm using the right software or something. So that's something I'll figure out later, but for right now, it's just gonna be audio. I would like to put my face up. I mean, I did all this makeup for nothing, apparently. But anyway, gonna continue off where we left off, and we're gonna start one of the first missions. I'm not sure how far we'll get, but we'll see.
This is the Hound Pit's pub, closed for business. Half the district marked off as dead from the plague. We're right under the Lord Regent's nose, and he don't know a thing.
It's really cold.
Of course, if anyone finds out what we're up to, the watch will break in with swords drawn. And now that you've escaped, the Lord Regent's going to be tearing the city apart. Take you up to meet Admiral Havelock and the rest of the royalists. The Admiral's a man to be reckoned with. If anyone can help you find that missing girl, Lady Emily, and clear your name, he can.
Alrighty. So, I want to play like a bunch of different games while I'm like starting one. That way I have like multiple things going on. I don't seem to, I don't want to be in like only one game at a time.
We can continue this later, Lord Pendleton.
But I really want to do a Hawk soon, which is a hidden object game if you don't know. I really enjoy them.
Like you. Until the Lord Regent pardoned those of us who wouldn't recognize his claim.
And I'm Lord Trevor Pendleton. I represent the nobility in our little group. But we all act as equals here at the Hound Pit's pub.
This is a momentous occasion, Claude. I'm going to come out with it. We've been building a coalition of loyalists, aimed at ending the Lord Regent's tyranny and restoring the throne.
At risk of execution, we're committed to finding young Lady Emily and seeing her crowned as Empress.
We've got big plans, but we can't do any of it without you. We need your skills, your ability in the fight, and in helping us, we're going to help you destroy the men who murdered the Empress.
Sorry, you must be exhausted. We can discuss this further after you've recovered. But before you retire, you should introduce yourself to Piero. He's challenging at times, but his industrious mind buys him that right.
Yes, Piero's as much an artist as a technician. He's going to be crafting the gear you'll need. Go talk to him, and then get some sleep. We can talk more when you've rested.
So while they were talking, I was looking up how to sync a PS4 gameplay with a webcam, and I keep seeing a lot of people using Share Factor, which is on PlayStation. I'd probably look into that a little bit more since I've seen it a couple times.
All custom made for you.
He's such a long talker.
No! Will you get a new tank from upstairs, please, while I hold this in place? Be careful. The oil's unstable. When it explodes, there is a terrible mess.
I'm excited because within the next few weeks I'm going to be getting a little bit more of my gaming setup, just because I've never really had I've never really owned a PC. I've only ever had laptops.
Perfect.
And
Plug it in.
I don't know, I really want a PC. I feel like they're easier to maintain.
Magnetism will do the rest. Perfect. Thank you, Cole. Here, see? The assassin's mask. You're a wanted man, so everyone in the city knows your face. But this mask
Got no booty.
will mean terror to you. You just hold still, fit must be precise. There. Can you see normally? Send the lens out of alignment. There. Better now? I could create more for you. Upgrades for your gear, weapons, munitions. But our situation here is desperate. Scavenge the city for valuables, and I will resell them on the black market. That should give us the money to craft the things you need. Tell me what I can make for you.
Not now. I want to go upstairs and
You
look at
must
some
be
stuff.
exhausted. I advise that you get some sleep. Your life will get even more difficult soon. You should rest while you can.
About to sneeze. I'll let you know that was a sneeze.
Very well.
But I was trying so
You
hard
know
not to
best.
because the
Let me
mic
know
is like
if you need
right
anything
here.
more.
So it just sounded like I just like huffed really hard. So the reason I want a PC is because in the middle of doing my webcam, my computer just shut down again. It's been doing this for like the last couple months, and I can't really use it because I used to use it for Sims, but couldn't handle it, and I want to play hidden object games and it won't handle Steam. So I'm really excited to look into a new PC. Maybe I can handle it because this computer kind of sucks. Start with this one. Whale Oil Refining Station. Sokolov no longer has the upper hand with regard to supplies of whale oil. The good admiral has paid for the installation of my own system, which will enable me to work in this place. The oil tank dispenser, when activated, will produce an empty vessel for filling. When the empty tank is held near the oil tank refill pump, the magnetic attractor should take the tank and lock it in the correct configuration. Using the lever will begin the refilling process. Once refilling is completed, the tank can be removed and placed in service. Extreme caution must be used in handling the full tanks. They are quite unstable. The system is sound and well engineered. It appears that the Graves Oil Company has done something correctly for once. I'm sorry, there was a lot of throw noises during that. Whale oil processing. Expert from the founder of the Graves Whale House by Ebenezer Graves. Out at sea, they secure the beast with hooks, with lines cast from the main ship and from smaller boats. Bayous keep the whale from diving deep. Once it's caught, a large hook is driven through the tail, which is used to hoist the creature up through the chute. They moan and bellow for some time as the men get them onto the deck, then lift them onto the scaffolding overhead. The ship adjusts its prow and returns to port in Dunwall, where the crew works on the great creature, slicing off the fattiest parts while it still lives. I'm sorry if you're sensitive to animal death. I know I am. It doesn't go too much into a lot of detail about animal death in this one, and there really isn't any animal death. Expert from the notes of a natural philosopher aboard a whaling ship. Remarkably, each specimen I had the pleasure of studying during the voyage possessed some minor variant in the physiology. On the second leg of the trip, east of Tivia, the crew hauled aboard a female some 42 in length. I estimate she weighed 35 ton, and the ship sat low, rocking to side through the night with her thrashing. By candlelight, I took her apart, sketching and taking notes. Against her bellowing, I cut into the mass of tentacles around her mouth. Within, I found a row of teeth, and a baleen running along the upper jaw. Through this broom-like structure, I assumed she filtered food from the water that was too small to be chewed. I will say there are dogs in this, but I do not go down the route that kills them. Hi, you're my doggy. Daphne. Hi. Dead Counter Responsibilities. Expert from the Manual on the New City Watch Procedures. Commissioned by the Lord Regent in the face of the growing plague crisis. The Dead Counter is a position that will only be given to officers, usually of junior or middle grade. And in most matters of edict or curfew enforcement, these officers will defer to the acting officer on duty. However, any Dead Counter will have command in situations related to the plague and the handling of the dead, including those late-stage plague symptoms called weepers in common parlance. Starting in the month of rain, interested officers may apply for the test and, if accepted, for a 2-week training tour. Pay will be administered in coin and rations of elixir at 1.5 normal pay grade. Did I do that? Oh. Did I read the other one, though? Failed Experiments, expert from a series of lectures on natural philosophy by Piero Joplin. Of course I have attempted to improve upon Sokolov's design. Of course, and why not? After all, it is likely that his thinking was influenced in some small way by our time together at the Academy. We are all part of a community striving to unknot the mysteries of the cosmos. Even among us who possess the greatest minds are often led to the fruitful line of consideration by, how does one say, our intellectual subordinates. Sokolov is no exception to this, despite the glamour of genius he has cast over the aristocrat. And further, it is true that many of my experiments have failed. No need to gossip about it behind my back in your social clubs and in the very chambers of the Academy itself. Great ambition requires risks. You may laugh now at my door to nowhere, but someday you will not. Your children will likely see it as commonly as you see the electric lamps lighting our streets at night. But a few short years ago, you would have laughed at Sokolov's arc pylon or the wall of light. Your laughter, your condescending smiles, they are nothing but evidence of your own limited imagination. Sorry, I suck at reading just like a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. I get confused when reading sometimes. Alright, this little thing on the wall. Piero's Door to Nowhere. The door to nowhere has proven to be a safety hazard, but for me this project is an endless source of inspiration. With the proper application of energies, I believe I can transform the doorframe into a window of sorts. One that will allow a traveler to cover the distance from my workshop to some distance. A tributary point in a single step. Currently, the step leads to a sheer drop straight down into the courtyard, but in time it will bring gaps that will boggle my mind. Such work is many years away, to be sure, but if I survive this plague, I'm sure to succeed. Again, I apologize if you get irritated by my reading sometimes. Trust me, I do too. I don't know why I can't read sometimes. Oh, there's a lot of reading. I'm gonna read it, but feel free to skip ahead if you don't want to hear any of this. Piero's request is denied. Piero, no, I will not sign off on these purchases. Bag of powder crystal, Tivian ore. What's wrong with the metals and crystal? King Sparrow feathers. If you need feathers, sacrifice your own pillow. Maybe at the Academy everything you needed was paid for by the tariff and handed out willy-nilly, but this is my bar, or what's left of it, and we're operating on a budget. We're running low on oil, food, elixir, building materials, and everything else, so you've got to slow down. While I'm footing the bill, I will not approve your purchases unless they're absolutely required. No more copper wire or special herbs. If you need those things, go out and scavenge them. Half the city is in ruins, so no one is going to miss any of the odd crap you seem to need. Admiral Havoc. I think I do better with notes and stuff to each other, but sometimes just reading the books gets to me. Like this one. Okay, how long is it? No! Okay, a second solution. Expert from a series of newspaper articles from a prominent natural philosophers by Piero Joplin. It is though no fault of my own that the average citizen has expressed a preference for Sokolov's elixir over my own formula. So that's Piero's remedy, a name I did not choose if you must know the truth. The public has spoken its usual methods of idiocy, sending their coin as a means of selecting Sokolov's formula over mine, which I believe to be equal if not superior. Much has been made over the popularity of these concoctions as a means of resisting this remarkable new plague. I say remarkable because its strain works on an efficiency we have not seen in the history of the Empire. This plague, now making its way through the city of Dunwall, is unrivaled in its effectiveness. I studied it within the blood of those so afflicted it is nearly perfect, elegant in fact. While it is true that Piero's remedy and Sokolov's elixir are known to protect the body against the plague equally, my own has properties, not fully understood, which can relate to its mind itself and spirit. It is that in this way that my own formula wins out. Here, where one should pay attention to this contest, for you see Sokolov's elixir, with its emphasis on the brute animal body, is Krasku better suited for livestock. The subtle and secret variants and the key ingredients making up Piero's remedy ensuring that it works on the higher functions that separate humankind from the mindless blue-jawed hagfish swimming in the Renhaven River. And I believe that is actually it in here. Probably be more books everywhere else. Just gonna do a quick glance, see if there's any coin. If not, oh. Why'd I do that?
Piero, good. You'll want to get some rest.
I don't know why I did that. That was a little weird. Alrighty, it's really wanting me to go upstairs, so that's what we're gonna do. And then after we go to sleep and wake up, I'll probably end it there.
Yes, very much so, but no need to fear. He's here to work with our masters.
People say he killed the Empress.
Of course he didn't. People are foolish and believe whatever they're told.
Okay. If the Admiral trusts him, then so will I.
Oop. Just go through some of these. Oh.
Pleased to meet you, Master Corvo. I saw you at court in happier days, but you might not remember. I was once a close ally to the Lord Regent, Hiram Burroughs, back when he was just the spy master. He's one manipulative bastard, I can tell you that.
Okay, I'm just gonna reach behind you and click that.
My
Thanks.
furnace
Ooh.
has been installed at last with no small amount of complaining by that antiquated boat. The others have no idea what it's like to suffer as I have. Speaking of which, Wallace, please breathe 2 bottles of Dunwall Red, never mind which, and fetch a clean glass. Well, I'll begin again tomorrow.
Oh, just listen to that over your shoulder. This is Admiral Havoc's room. A Gaffer's Tale, Volume 2. I'll do it. After more than a quarter of a century, I am done with whaling, too broken to continue. I have seen all the corners of the Isles and made more coin than most men see in a lifetime, but it's all gone. I have lived through an emperor and watched his daughter take the throne. Very young empress she was, but slain so young. Everything beautiful comes to die. I've eaten in every port of the known world and sailed in the loneliest waters you could imagine. I've seen the cliffs around Pandacia. Even the best of it doesn't give me an ounce of joy. The years of calm across my dreams as a line of butchered bodies, long sleep and singing among the waves under the moonlight, only to be speared by ugly, weather-scarred men who knife each other for a good pair of boots. Each year, I have less time to come home. My tongue forgot the language of small chatter, and those who lived in the cities thought me odd. My sister Nina hardly knew what to say to me during our visits. She lost her business to Lord Regent's crooked barrister. I was 100 miles east of Morley, gaff hand frozen from the sleet as we tracked the first bull whale we've seen in months. I helped her as much as I could, but Nina died in the early days of the plague. None of it mattered. If I'm jaded and bitter, it's because the industry had taken away my dreams. The world has beaten me. Okay, these ones are important. So, Havoc's log entry 1. Let me see. It's been days since our men were dispatched to stash weapons for Kovor and the Azulor. They have not returned, so I can only hope that they succeeded in getting the packages delivered. Piero spent a considerable time and resources making those things. If I could find a way to mass-produce them, the Dunwall Navy would secure its place as the dominant force on the globe. Back to Corvo. Can he actually break out of Coldridge? And if so, will it make his way here? I personally give him the odd of 1 in 5. And I think that's still my... Okay, this is the first one. Expert from the travel of a journal of a young whaler. So we read the second one. This is the first one. My sister Nina and I left Tivia together, saying goodbye to our aunt. The woman had raised us since childhood, leaving behind our home city of Yarrow and the cold but beautiful white landscapes we had always known. Sorry. We boarded a ship for Dunwall. Our parents had left us with a sizable inheritance, and we spent half of it getting to the capital city, establishing a small import of shops dedicated to Tiffy furs. Once I helped Nina establish the business, I was free to pursue my dream. Signing on with a whaling ship was the most exciting thing I've ever done. I saw it as a means to the end. Someday I would captain my own crew, eventually an own fleet of similar vessels. With tears in her eyes, Nina kissed me farewell. I did not see her again for many months. As an apprentice to the gaffer, I got to see the tracking and killing of the great beast up close. Nothing had ever fired my spirit so, as the wind pounding in waves raced after a wounded whale being pulled of a skin of cables embedded in its thick flesh. I changed more in those first 7 months than in previous 7 years. Whaling was beginning to put its mark on me so that Nina barely recognized me when I returned, tanned and skinny with muscle, with the creases already wrinkling the corners of my eyes. But she could see that I was filled with joy, having found my purpose. And Admiralty, wait, no. Admiralty, no. Admiralty. The fleet. I am sorry. I don't know why I can't read sometimes. While each of the isles has some form of naval fleet, none is more envied than that of Bristol, with its long proud history of great ships and the admirals who command them. Boys come in age in the cities of Bristol, hoping to someday captain such a ship. Family dynasties are made by those captains who track down the famous pirates or crush sedious uprisings, as during the Morley insurrection. In time of war and peace, Bristol continues to innovate at sea. The ship designs of Anton Sokolov himself now represent the highest standard of the whaling trade, allowing crews to haul their kill up over the deck and build their butchery and processing. Even as the ship returns to Dunwall, the crews can be seen working on their latest whale as the ship moves slowly up Burnhaven River, coming to the dock of one of its powerful warehouses, companies such as Greaves Whaling House. Suspended in the rigging overhead and backlit by the setting sun, the silhouette of one of the creatures makes a moving sight as it cruises its final resting place in the industrial heart of the capital city. You know what's funny? I really thought I wanted to be an English teacher because I really liked reading, and I was like, I would love to read to the kids. Like, I wanted to do, maybe not English, but just like some sort of communications, you know? Since I enjoyed reading and I enjoyed like stories and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed language, I guess. But I can't read. Good thing I didn't do that. Harpooner songs. Expert from the book of sea shanties sung by sailors. I'm just gonna scroll through this because I will not be singing. I am not one of those people that can just belt out a tune. Oh. Hi, Lydia.
Mine. You must be Corvo. I'm Lydia, at your service. Your room is upstairs and ready. When they told me who it was, well, I thought you'd be older, like the Admiral.
Nah, I'm sexy.
I'm sorry it's so dark. We can't risk being seen. It is a bit romantic, though, isn't it?
As far as the river mouth and flooded district. Do not attempt to
I used to be the hostess here.
Okay. Litany on the White Cliff. So this has to do with like the guards here. I forgot the name. What's it called? The Brotherhood Overseers. Okay. Yeah. Expert from the series of oversea innovations by the High Overseer Abraham Templeton. When I say to you, brothers, it is here that we make our stand as a righteous force against the growing darkness. It is here that we unite against the spirits of the unknown that would drag us screaming into the night. Never to return to our homes, to our families. Together we will serve as a rod to those who would stray from the herd. For the froggy gray wastes of the outsider, we will burn a bright fire with our virtuous actions so that others will not lose their way. And to those who choose to wander beyond the walls of our home in far places, we will strike them swiftly before they whisper to their neighbors, filling their hearts with strangeness and doubt. Bath. Why are there so many books? Oh, we already read that one. I'm just gonna, I'll read this one. Finding my way to the feeble light of the dying fire, I saw her working. A large needle moved in her hand, following with precise, esoteric patterns, knots, and loops of seamstress craft from the ancient days. Beneath her needle, his body clenched and shuddered, shaking the wooden table. A morbid fascination pushed me closer, until she turned her blank face towards me, resting the needle in his flesh. With a refined tone, she addressed me. So, you are the lover, I presume. You too have been unfaithful, and it is now your turn to be mended. I'm sorry I had to. Oh, this is a theater play. I'll read the good ones. I'll do a little scan through and see if it's really worth reading it. Otherwise, I'll just make sure that you could probably pause it and read it. So this is The Young Prince of Tivia, and it's an expert from a theater play. Lord Nathan Bale, shaking with outrage. How dare you, sir? Clothes so in my very home. I should hang you over the watch, depraved Tivian. Prince Calisair, coming closer. That's a harsh welcome for royalty, my lord. Your daughter treated me with much more hospitality. Alas, she has gone out for the evening, leaving me all alone. Lord Nathan Bale, stammering, studying the younger man before him. What are you doing? Leave this house. Go back to your frozen wasteland, pale rascal. Prince Calisair, smiling coyly, reaching out. No need for anger between us, Lord Bale. Is it so wrong for me to be here? As I've proven, I've developed an affinity for you and your family. Lord Nathan Boyle, gasping. Oh my, Calisair, your skin is so warm, it burns. So you'll find some of that around here, and I find it hilarious. It's good stuff. The wine cellar. But let's go ahead and make it upstairs. Move, bitch. Move, girl. I'm trying not to cuss too much. And this is our room. Corvo's chambers, but it's really just a bed. I will take that coin. And this coin. And let's go to sleep. Somewhere else. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize we could go. Alrighty. Where are we? I guess I'll just go out the door. It's not the door. Sorry. Yeah, just sorry.
Hello, Corvo. Your life
Who's that
has
sexy
changed,
beast?
has it not? The Empress is dead. The precious daughter Emily is lost somewhere in the city, and you will play a pivotal role in the days to come. For this, I have chosen you and drawn you into the void. I am the outsider, and this is my mark. There are forces
I love the
in the
outsider.
world and beyond the world, great forces that men call magic. And now, these forces will serve your good. Use this newfound power, my gift to you. Come find me.
Okay, you don't have to tell me twice. Power of Blink. Alright, so it's just basically moving around. Oh. You cannot save her, you cannot save her, you cannot save her. Oh, missed it. Damn. Dang it. Sorry. Forgot I had this one's a little farther. Emily's letter. Corvo, I am very sad. They say that you're dead like mother. But I'm going to put this note in a bottle and throw it into the river because I do not believe them. Living here is very strange. I do not like it, so please come for me if you can. Damn. Alrighty. Oop. Yeah, all doing stuff. So these are the infected people. Oop. Oop.
In the days that follow, your trials will be great. Seek the ancient runes bearing my mark in the lonely places of your world, and that shrine raised in my name. These runes will grant you powers beyond those of other men.
I will
To help
say,
you find these runes, I give
in
you
the second one,
this,
he's a little bit more
the
sexier.
heart of a living thing, molded by my hands. With this heart, you will hear many secrets, and it will guide you toward my runes, no matter how they may be hidden. Listen to the heart now, and find another rune.
Yes, sir. After I grab this. Oh, dang it, I almost fell. Oh, to run this way. Alright, and when you collect these runes, it's basically saying that you get to have upgrades and powers. So I love dark vision. That's one I want.
How you use what I have given you falls upon you, as it has to the others before you. Now I return you to your world, but know that I will be watching with great interest.
Alright, I'm probably gonna end it here because I read so much. But I'm gonna go downstairs, go to the bar, and then get ready for the next mission. And then I'll end it right there. That way when we come back, we can just like pick up where we left off. I'm having a good time though. Got crusty hands. Okay. Oh, what book is that? Oh, ooh, Slackjaw's a good one. But here's some bone charms. These provide small supernatural benefits. Oh, okay. Okay, these are important. I'll read them. And then we'll like finish off. So I'm just gonna grab everything that they left in my room. And he left me a lot of things. Okay, so they're all these books have to do with like people that we'll meet. Oop. Let's start with Dodd. Rumors and sighting of Dodd. It's from Overseer Convert Field Report. For over a year now, I have lived away from the Abbey without the company of my overseer brethren or the guidance of the blind sisters of the oracular order. Days have passed me, sleeping in the dens of cat purses, murderers, and worse. And the nights have seen me prowling through the worst alleys and wretched corners of Dunwall. I have taken my meals with killers. At times I have ventured beyond the city walls, meeting in forgotten graveyards and the outlying ruins frequented by those of ill means. My beard has grown long, and I wear the weathered clothing and the bits of boiled leather flavored by the bottle street and hatter gangs. and by these rough men and women who made their trade knifing others in return for coin. My hands have run red with blood, it's true, but I have selected my targets with care, choosing among those criminals and heretics who were not fit to live, executing them with justly, and using their deaths as a means of building my reputation. So far, this trick has allowed me to make my name among the murderous colleagues without taking the lives of the innocent. My goal is singular. I must impress the assassin named Dodd in order to get close to him. Of all the practitioners of black magic we have tracked, none concern the Abbey as much as Dodd. It is said that his mother was a witch from one of the archipelagos off the Pandician coast, taken captive by pirates venturing far from the isles. According to legend, by the time the ship returned, the captain was dead and the witch controlled the crew, with Dodd still a shadow in her belly. The earliest stories tell a gang killer without mercy, moving among the shopkeepers and city watch officers of Dunwall like a reaper through wheat. Then a period of silence followed. Years we now believe he spent traveling the isles, studying anatomy and the occult in the great halls of learning and hidden basements frequented by fellow dabblers in the forbidden arts. Dodd is even purported to have spent a winter in the Academy of the Natural Philosopher itself. And for a time before a schism developed, he counted the Bridgemore witches among his allies. All the while he honored his craft, and it is during this time that we believe he began to consort with the outsider. New reports emerged from the dusky-skinned assassin, paid by the elite to eliminate their rivals in Dunwall and in other major cities across the Isles. Those who saw him and lived in a number of the handful, but all of them reported something strange. He appeared and vanished like smoke. From a nearby rooftop he gestured, and a noble woman stumbled from her balcony, falling to her doom on the cobblestone below. Most recently, as the new threat of the plague has risen in Dunwall, Dodd has been seen leading a gang of men in the dark leather, just as factory whalers in their vapor masks. They seem low beyond comprehension for one so unworthy, leading me to wonder if some of this magic is dedicated to lulling their minds, enslaving them. Only a month ago, one girl claims to have come up with a strange scene. Carrying a bottle of milk home to her crippled brother, she was taking a shortcut through the Taylor district. In the narrow street, she passed beneath the window and heard the unusual sounds from within. Pushing aside the ratty curtain, the girl saw in the abandoned apartment, used by miscreants for gambling and trader Habler weed. An occult shrine had been erected against the far wall, which she recognized from the teachings given by her local overseer. A man she described as resembling Dodd was kneeling before the shrine, muttering to an unseen spirit as if in an argument. He took a carving made of pale bone from the altar before him. The lights all went out in a gush of unclean wind. Quiet as a field mouse, she slipped away, running until she reached her home. There is no doubt Dodd is an agent of the outsider and must die, for there is no limit in this evil this man might do. This is my solemn oath and my great purpose of life. Until Dodd is dead and his corruption has been purged from the world, I will continue to move among the depraved, winding my way towards him. I will not drop my guise or don my overseer mask again until Dodd breathes no more. So a little bit more about Dodd, which we'll learn later. Is this one a long one? Okay. Excerpt from the personal memoirs of Hiram Burroughs, dated several years earlier. This is the 4th day, month of the high cold. Progress continues on the suppression of gang activity in the distillery district, but more slowly than expected. The ruffians operate there have been cunning, I'll grant them that, but it's only a matter of time. I'll see their leaders flogged in public and send them beneath the royal executioner's blade. If I had my way, that mute bastard would be working night and day, removing the heads that need removing. Internally, the Empress does not seem pleased with my investigations. It seemed that it is beyond her thinking, against her very nature as a trusting person, to believe that traitors move among us. But I know they do. They must. No, Jessamine would rather spend her time with the royal protector. At least he'd likely stop any immediate threat to her safety. That's a strong arm is not what's needed against those who would undermine us. How will Corvo's sword stop a poison wine or an explosive delivered by carrier? It will not. There are many threats around us. Threats required meticulous efforts to police. Young Lady Emily is undisciplined, I'm afraid. Here within Dunwall Tower, she receives instruction from the finest tutors known in the Isle, yet her mother spoils her and spends most of her time lost in imagination, wasting her time drawing or asking Corvo to teach her to fight with wooden sticks. The girl might rule the empire someday. Every moment spent at play is a moment wasted. Shoring up security for the main gate leading into Dunwall Tower has been another pet project of late. To think back in the day of the Emperor, Caldwin left it open to the public during the day, allowing anyone to come and go as they pleased. If it were up to me, I'd seal off access to the streets entirely, but the Empress won't hear of it. The water lock is much easier to protect, and if it were the only way in the tower, traffic in and out would be greatly reduced. Someday the wrong person is going to slip in and will suffer for it, mark my words. No amount of security is excessive when it comes to protecting the head of state. The Empress also disapproves of my plans for the Sokolov devices. Sokolov himself has no interest in security, of course, but he is vain and therefore keen to see his inventions deployed in any fashion. This wall of light he's been tinkering with has promise, in any case. At least I was able to convince the Empress to upgrade the pistols carried by the officers of the watch. Why do I worry so when no one else seems to care? If I ever fall asleep, will it all sink into the ocean? Will the ocean things clamber over the wall and fill themselves with our flesh? This is what I see in the same dream several times each month. If only I had more say in things, more authority, I could protect us all. Perhaps I have been working too hard. Dinner and an evening of conversation with a certain lady of refinement might be in order. Perhaps somewhere nice in the estate district. Here in Barrows, Royal Spymaster. Okay. I'll save Granny Rags for last. Expert from a series of letters sent by the memory of the Bottle Street Gang. It's a long one. You want the chinwag on Slackjaw? What he's like when we were young, before he got his name? Oh, he's a cool head now, but it weren't always like that in the days before he was the boss of the Bottle Street Gang. Time was, young Slackjaw wasn't a responsible man. Like most of us, he grew up on the streets, running with a pack of ragamuffins, avoiding the law, pension, whatever he needed. Dark-haired and dark-eyed, smoking a pipe by the age of 10. For them born in the brothels or coming from the orphanage was either the gangs or working with the mudlarks, and no one wants that. Some pressed into the Navy or put down in the mines run by the Pendleton or Boyle families. As hard as it was on the streets, as hungry as we all got, at least we was free. By the time we weren't little us anymore, Slackjaw was one to watch. Usually calling the shots when we took down a farmer cart or a sidewalk street vendor. He'd come up with a plan, give everyone the same part to play, and decided on the split. Most of us just went along, because we learned fast that we made out better like that. More food, more coin. Plus none of us wanted to deal with Slackjaw when he was enraged. He worked on a couple big jobs with the Black Sally across town, and that was enough to get the attention of the other bosses. He wasn't just a street kid anymore. He's an up-and-comer, which meant trouble. The other guy who fancied himself as such was Mike the Fish, who was working his way up running the protection racket among the factory women. One fine evening, we were all taken in a bawdy show in the theater house. Mike the Fish and his lot are there in the cheap seats, too, just down the aisle from us. Mal gets a wild idea. He wasn't big on planning. Throws a heavy ceramic baton at Slackjaw, hits him square in the face, and breaks the jaw. We look to see if there's going to be a blood brawl, but Slackjaw just points out the door and we all leave, with Mike laughing at our backs. Waking up the next day without telling us, Slackjaw motions for us to follow. He still can't say a word, so we just come along. We stop at the docks and Slackjaw pays coin for it, a heavy chain covered in hooks. It's for fishing in the deep, something you catch to a long line off the side of a ship. About 4 feet, made of thick links, and there are shark hooks coming off in different angles. Slackjaw's got the thing wrapped around his left arm, dangled at his side. Not sure how he knew where Mike the Fish was staying, but when we reach the girl's house, Slackjaw throws a bottle through the window just like that. It's almost noon. There's a bunch of screaming inside. Mike pokes his head out, looking wide-eyed and baffled. When he sees Slackjaw out in the street, a look comes over his face that still gives me the willies. Pure murder. Mike comes out the side door, bellowing like a blood dog, holding a cleaver, heading straight for Slackjaw. When they come together in the street, Slackjaw spins, and the shark hook bites him deep into Mike's arm and shoulder. He screams, but Slackjaw holds onto the chain. He's standing there with his jaw broken, clenched tight with the chain wrapped around his left arm. Hook sunk into Mike the Fish, just knifing him as fast as he can. Mike couldn't fight very well, hooks like that, using his left hand. But he was a big guy and took a lot of stabbing before he went to his knees. Everyone was cheering at first, but then we all went quiet. It just kept going and going until finally it was just Mike the Fish blubbering, crying like a baby, and the sound of Slackjaw's knife. When it was over, there was a brilliant part. Slackjaw took out a note and stuck it to Mike's face with the nail. It just said, "If you want a job, come to Bottle Street." Slackjaw didn't talk right for a couple of months, but word spread fast. By the end of the year, once we had a sizable gang going, he sent out letters to other bosses telling them that he was running a brand new crew over at Bottle Street. Most of them laughed or beat up the guys who delivered the letters. Green-eyed Trish even came back with a missing thumb, but apparently Slackjaw was expecting that kind of reaction and had a backup plan. A week later, 4 of the bosses were dead. Seemed like a series of unfortunate events, but everyone knew better. One shot dead by the watch while standing in the middle of the meat market, another slipping and falling into water, out cold. One of the older bosses found in bed with his belly wide open and a Tyrian pear stuffed in his mouth. Still not sure what that meant. And Sheila Barnsworth was found bubbling in a cauldron of hot wax. Slackjaw sent out another set of letters, offers to the underbosses telling them they'd be treated fair as peers. He even sent Green-Eyed Trish with one of the letters. All of the underbosses accepted. After spilling the guts of the main competition, Slackjaw went in for stabilizing his business. Real neat. Calling in favors, smoothing things over, giving everyone a little bit of coin or drink as a bonus. Showing what he could be as a boss, so everyone got quiet. Which always makes the boys of the City Watch nervous, of course. Word went out among the Royal Spy Matches snitches, the Responsible Citizens Group, they call themselves, telling everyone working in the shop or sweeping off the front steps of their homes to keep a watchful eye for Slackjaw and his men. Trying to suss out what they were up to and what had just happened, that Slackjaw ain't stupid. He greased up a few palms among the shopkeepers and the watch too, telling them that he was in town to stay and that things would be run properly from now on, without so much blood. He was finally a real boss, ready to settle into the business of moving whiskey and running the hound fights and offering up the ladies and gentlemen of the night, if take my meaning. Then the plague came. At first it seemed like a good thing. A few people got sick and everybody wanted to buy those potions from Sokolov or Piro. Health elixirs, or spiritual remedy they called them. Slackjaw told me he saw an opportunity. We already had old whiskey from the factory was a still, where we could water the stuff down and sell it discounted. Doing the same thing with Sokolov's elixir was a pretty smart plan. Pretty soon everybody in the slums was sick and business was good. But after a while there were so many people down with the plague that everyone got scared. Everybody started acting real nasty, everything fell apart. When people can't work, they don't have coin for elixir, watered down or pure. When the Empress died, it seemed like Dunwall would slide into the void. Spymaster Burroughs took over and the watch started using all that new Sokolov technology. Watchtowers, tall buoys, and them arc pylons. They put up a wall of light across Clavering Boulevard and cracked down on the hard. But Sokolov surprised us again. Instead of leaving town on a boat bound for Morley or one of the other isles, he stayed and kept it all together. We get as much elixir to fight off the plague as the City Watch, with their taxes and rations. That's kept us alive so far. Crowley, Bottle Street Gang. Alright, I'm going to go a little bit longer just because I know there's a lot of reading and probably not everyone likes reading. But this is the last one I'll read today, and then I'll do a little bit more gameplay. Experts from the rambling of a street dizen. Of course I'll tell you, dearie. I won't keep any secrets from you in the end. All the dearie days of my life, like windows of the house. From the kitchen I can see out into the garden where the leaves and stalks are brown and bug-bit, eaten. You can see a little lump of dirt where something was wrapped in a blanket and laid to rest along the rows of the twisting vines. The front room looks out to the street where the neighbors are setting fire to their homes, barricading themselves inside, warm and snug, dearie. Don't forget about the bedroom either. It sees into a dearie alley where hooligans are playing a game with an old man. The first two are hitting him with sticks, and the girl is kicking at his dry old ribs. Oh, to have those bones, to boil them in a pot. No one lives in my house anymore, dearie. No one you'd want to meet. When I lived there with my husband, we were fine people. Vera Mori. Everyone would say, your house is as grand as Boyle Manor. Better even. Your dinners are lavish and your parties are the best. When that young Sokolov came to paint my portrait, I was nearly still in my prime. Radiant, he said, and he was barely just a man. So young, painting all the best people across the land. Everyone wanted a portrait by his hand. All my friends, I was the only one, dearie, wet with his paint glistening on the canvas for a pretty coin. But it wasn't all parties and paintings. My husband and I weren't always at home, no. We traveled together, he and I, to the far end of the Isles, beyond even, all the way to the red cliffs of the Pandisia, to dig in the rock and crawl through the caves, holding up candles and squinting at the walls. Many precious things we came upon, but none so precious as the boy with the black eyes, dearie. All those marks and bones carved so deep and polished so bright. I brought the old bones home, hid them for my dear husband. Then I learned to boil them and carve them myself. They made such good presents, dearie. The little moo boy took them home. He loved them so. All the time he came with new bones for me, holding them up so I could see it in his eyes, even though his tongue was still. Granny, his eyes would say to me, carve these bones for me. Make me another present. And he went so far, all the way to Dunwall Tower, the royal headsman himself now. My little mute boy and his shiny, shiny sword. Better bones were what I needed, you see. Better bones to carve and polish and scrape and glean. My dear old husband was always tired. I made him soup and then he was sick. Better bones was all. For my little mute boy carved in the names of the one of the black eyes. After my husband was gone, given away as birthday gifts, I didn't want to live there anymore. So now I'm old and don't have many to give my presents to. It's sifting through the garbage for granny rags and feeding the little birdies that gather at my feet. No one wants to have tea, dearie, especially those rude louts on Bottle Street. Slackjaw and his boys always meddling with an old woman who's just trying to make her way. In the end, we'll be together with him, you and me in the dearie night with the stars above and below, and always with the one with the black eyes, dearie. We love Granny Rags. It was like Granny Slackjaw. Oop. Okay, we did that one. Let's go ahead and go downstairs. There was like a little, like, another place we can, but I'm gonna wait.
If you like, but he won't use it.
Why?
He can't sleep in regular beds anymore. That's what he says. Says he was in the Navy too long. Believe it?
Well, let's get down to it. First off, I know that assassination is dark business, but sometimes good men have to do bad things to make it work right. Our purpose is clear. We want to restore Her Majesty's line by finding and putting Emily Caldwell.
Ooh, I still need to do upgrades. Forgot.
To those ends, we'll hide, act in shadow, take them apart, piece by piece. Tonight, High Overseer Campbell dies by my hand. It won't be easy. He's protected by his
My feet are cold.
an army of religious
I need to
zealots.
put socks
If
on.
anyone can do it, you can. Your exploits are legendary. Campbell carries a private journal. Once you've eliminated him, get the journal, because we think it contains Emily's location. Recovering her is obviously critical, assuming she lied. That's the gist of it. Remember our cause and strike true. We're counting on it. Another thing. Campbell is holding a former overseer by the name of Martin. He's one of us, and if you manage to find him, give him whatever help you can. He's a master strategist, and he got caught working for our cause. It'd be good to have him back here at the
Alrighty.
Oh, Corvo?
I will be with you in just a moment. Okay, there's Piero.
What can I do for you?
Let's see what I can get. Ooh, sleep boots. Love them. Let's do upgrades. I like the bolts. Let's do crossbow range. Combat sleep dart is what I need, so I don't kill anybody. Crossbow reload, and I should be good for right now. I will take that. Don't mind me. Let's see. Ooh.
Part of the soul live in the heart. If the heart keeps beating, does that mean that the spirit is never released into oblivion? I can keep a heart beating forever with electricity, but what does that mean for any essence trapped within? It'd be easier if I created these processes in waking hours. I am uneasy pursuing avenues that emanate from my dreaming mind.
Okay, let's see what she wants.
Corvo. Hello. I'm Callista. I work here for Admiral Havelock. I'm sorry to intrude on your business, but this is important. I suspect you're going to kill the High Overseer. That wretched man. There's really no reason for you to listen to me. But my uncle, Jeff Kernow, still serves as captain in the City Watch. But he's a good man, and my only family. The chatter in servant circles is that Campbell just took delivery of an exotic poison. And I think I know why. My uncle's not corruptible like the rest of them. Campbell is going to poison my uncle. Do you think you could protect him? You used to do that, right? Before you had your current profession. Before you became an assassin.
Yeah. I'll get him. Alrighty.
Ready to go? Just give the signal.
Bro, I'm ready to go. I'll get to the place and then maybe do a little bit more. kind of want to cap it at 30 minutes, but I could feel really bad for just reading the whole time. So I'll just do a little bit more. Or I guess I could just upload another video right after it. I kind of want to take a break. I'm just gonna do the boat ride. Distillery District.
It'll be a rough trip. Used to be to go straight up Clavering Boulevard, but now it's not so easy. Half the city's dead of the plague. The other half's fighting over what's left. City Watch still holds the bigger streets, and they've set up those wall of light checkpoints. Man walks through one of those, and he ends up burned to a crisp. Everything not controlled by the City Watch is gang territory. And there are the real odd birds living on the fringes, like that Granny Rags. They say she's nuts.
We love Granny Rags.
Which is worse.
Actually,
Just take your pick.
I think we do. Sometimes we like her, sometimes we don't like her. But that can go the same about for anyone. Alrighty, and this is where I will be ending it today. Sorry there wasn't like a lot going on, but I'll make sure the next one... Oh! Okay, there goes some bodies. I'll just make sure we'll be doing a lot in the next one, but thank you for watching.